And are we live? There we go. I see us. Now I don't
see it.
There you are. Okay, yay. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Thursday, so that means it's another Why Am I Yelling Live? And I am sitting here in Connecticut at the lake house, and it's a gazillion degrees, but I can't complain about it because Bianca is in Florida, where it's probably 2 gazillion degrees. Right? It's so hot there. So
it is hot.
We today is like it's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be an emotional one today because we are talking to Bianca Dottin, and she has a self-titled blog where she focuses on writing about mom life, being a mom of supporting of the NICU, and being a mom who has lost a baby, and travel of all things. And she's got a story that none of us wants to ever have to tell. And so I'm just going to jump into this because it's a very emotional thing. I'm hooked on her blog. I've been reading her for the last several weeks. Her story is impactful and powerful. And I'm so impressed that she has decided to voice her story and become an advocate for other parents who are in similar situations by being in the NICU. I know a lot of parents who have been in the NICU. I know parents who have unfortunately lost children. And I will tell you right now, one person is too much. So if we can have people like you in this world who are bringing forth information and knowledge and connecting other parents in a community, then I'm, on behalf of the world, I'm very grateful for you. So welcome to the show, Bianca Dottin. We are excited to have you, and we are looking forward to hearing your story. So my one question that I start every interview off with is, how did you get to this point in your journey, and why are you on it?
So that's a really good question. So I came up with the idea for Mamas of the NICU, after becoming a NICU mom. Mm-hmm. So Tristan was born last October, and he was actually born on Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. So that was when I became a NICU mom, and a few weeks into my journey and into being in the NICU, I came up with this idea for just a journal, right. Because that's kind of how a lot of moms cope, and they keep track of milestones and things like that. And then the longer that we were in the NICU, the more things that we went through, and the more life-changing decisions that we had to make, I wanted to turn it into something more that could benefit someone other than just myself. Because there aren't too many people in our life who we know were in the NICU. Maybe a handful of people, and even then I didn't learn that until after Tristan passed. So just creating Mamas of the NICU and an online community for NICU moms, and a place where they can go to seek advice and find other moms like them was really the goal behind the entire thing.
And so you started this while Tristan was in the hospital. And
yes, I started kind of the process and coming up with the concept and what I wanted it to be. Okay. And then it kind of just grew from there, because at first it was only supposed to be a blog.
Right. And then, okay, so now you're a mom of this very important club, if you want to call it that. And you are a spokesperson for your experience, and you are encouraging other parents to talk about their experiences and share experiences. Yes. And I feel like I have a very good friend whose son has congenital heart defect, and he comes to New York for his heart treatments and transplants, and not heart transplants, but his valve replacements and stuff. And so, I'm lucky enough that they trust me to be able to sit with them and and hang out in the NICU and go through operations and all that kind of stuff with them. So that when they're in New York, I literally go to Columbia Presbyterian Hospital and I wait in the NICU with them. And he's 7, it's been 6 years of doing this. So I am not immune to what happens in these places. And I'm, as weird as this sounds, I'm very grateful for those experiences, because as a person with, and you have another child who's older and is healthy, right? Never had anything like this to happen, right? So as a mother with with 2 healthy children, I until this person, one of my friends went through this, I did not know the magnitude of what happens when and every situation is different, right? Kids walk out of the NICU, some kids come out, some kids don't come out. And the camaraderie that happens that I've witnessed with these, in that hospital, it's 14 beds. In those 14 beds, all the parents know each other. They know what's wrong with each child. They know what trial and tribulation each person has gone through. And, my friend Jen, whose son is the person who goes through this, every time she comes up, she has a whole other contingent of friends or acquaintances or people that she has just met that she can add to her network of people who have gone through this. And I know that for her, it's been therapeutic and helpful.
Yeah.
And so what is it about, I know that you created this community. What is it about this community that you want everyone to know about? Like, why is it so important?
So I think one of the reasons why it's so important is just for moms to know that they're not alone. I think a lot of times, as moms, when we have preemies, we automatically think that we're at fault because it's our bodies. We're the ones that are carrying the baby. We're responsible for their life, but that's not the case. So I want people to know that they're not alone. They're not at fault. And there are a lot of people out there supporting them, whether they know them or not. And that it's possible to get through your experience in the NICU, no matter how hard it is or what the outcome is.
I think that is an inspiring message because, as you are very well aware of this, those days can seem very, very long, and they can also seem very, very short. And right, no matter what the outcome, there really is there's a place to turn with people that are in your same situation or a similar situation, who are navigating the same type of waters that you're navigating. And it's hard. I mean, I read your blog posts, and last night I read your most recent one, and I, was a blubbering mess. But I was very, you thanked so many people who we oftentimes forget to thank. You thanked the nurses and the doctors and, the support system that you get. And a lot of people don't, you automatically go to, the people who sat by your side and your parents and your immediate community. And a lot of times we forget to bring those people into our immediate community until they do things that are really life-changing. And it seems like, just in my reading your words, it seems to me like these people changed the course of your life.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And even, and while we thank our friends and our family, they didn't understand what we were going through every day, but those doctors and nurses did, and they took the time to know Tristan and to learn his likes and dislikes and what was best for him, and to also consider, that we're his parents and our voices matter. During your time in the NICU, you have to kind of join their team, and without being on the same page, you can't really get through it with the least amount of stress, because, you're going to be under stress in that situation. But when you join together as a team and everyone is on the same page and knows the care plan and, what you want for your child, it's really important to kind of all be on the same page. And those people are really important. And even now that, Tristan is gone, they're still family, and I still talk to them, almost every day. And they're checking on us, and we're checking on them, and we're planning what to do for Tristan's first birthday, and where to go with Mamas of the NICU, and it's just really important to be kind of a part of a bigger team.
I like, that is, it's so important to have that. And your community it's going to blow up because there are so many people out there who need this. And I have a friend who recently lost his son at 23 years old. And even though he wasn't in the NICU, he was in the ICU, and he was still her son. And, she's trying to navigate this. And I feel like I'm going to tell her about this because you know what? It's important. And he went through something, and, maybe you guys can figure out a way to have a conversation and expand it to not just that, because I think that, losing a child, number one, is probably the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody. I don't care if it's a miscarriage, a new baby, a 23-year-old, whatever. It really, and Janelle is on here. I spoke to her 2 weeks ago. It really can knock the wind out of you. And it does. And so you have another child. And so how do you go through this while still trying to focus on your family?
That's a tough one. She's 6.
Okay, so she's old, yeah.
And she's in the 2nd grade, and she's old enough to understand and to kind of grasp the concept of everything that's going on. So, when Tristan was first born, it was kind of hard to explain to her why he couldn't come home. And
right.
But we had a lot of support at the hospital, and they were able to explain it to her in terms that she could understand, and she kind of learned to accept it. And in the beginning, it was rough. It was really rough. And I don't think without my husband, I would have been able to do it, because there were a lot of days where, he was just like, it's a choice whether you're going to sit and sulk in it every day, or you're going to push and move forward and, try to be yourself.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to be. I just lost you.
When there's so many people looking at you and trying to, they're asking questions and they want to know so many things, but you're dealing with still the emotions of having a baby earlier than you were supposed to, and very unexpected. And you're thrown into this new world, and it's a lot to figure out.
Right. And so okay. So now my question is, and I know it's definitely, how do you manage that time? Like, how do you figure out what to do? I mean, I know that she was with you sometimes and not with you because she had school and all the other things that, like, she has a life also, and you have to be cognizant of that. I guess that's the best way to say it. And, I'm always interested to know how the siblings feel about these kind of things and how they react to them, and how has she been through this whole process? And if that's something that you don't want to answer, then we can skip it.
No, so in the beginning, our process, because, school was still in session. So in the beginning, our process was we would get up every morning and we would get ready for school, and I would drop her off and I would go straight to the NICU. And then when school was out, I would go pick her up and we would go back to the NICU, and she would get to see her brother, read books to him. They always made sure that she had stuff to make crafts. So she was always
occupied and that kind of thing.
In the pod that we were in, you weren't allowed to stay the night. So we would go home and we would spend our family time together at night. But she would always see him, every day, and read him books and ask questions and, about all of the chords and everything. So she was very involved and overprotective and
Big sister.
very, very interested. The end was a little different. Yeah, you can hear her in the background.
I love it. Don't forget, Mom. Don't forget to tell her this.
The end was a little different because when we went back to the NICU, because he came home for 13 days, and then we went back to the NICU, and he was in isolation then. Somehow he had gotten like MRSA particles, not like the actual infection, but like just amounts of it. So he was in isolation, and she wasn't able to see him for those 3 weeks. So that was rough. The only time that she was able to see him was on FaceTime, and so she took that really hard. So I think that is that part we never really kind of got the hang of it, because she never got to see him then, and she still, she takes that tough still to today, because she never got to say goodbye and things like that.
Properly.
So
and so what happens now, like with her now? Because is there therapy? Are you, do you go to like groups? Are there things for you to like? You're very open about it, so I imagine there's a lot of open conversation in your home about him and about what happened and about all of the stuff, and making her feel comfortable enough to talk about it, and like it's not a subject that you don't, because I know people, and like way back in the years ago, like when they lost children or went through things, it just, everybody shuts up and we don't talk about it.
Yeah. So we're very open with her. One of Tristan's conditions were involuntary breath holding spells. So basically what they are is they're triggered by emotions like fear, anger, anxiety. And so his body would just shut down if he was experiencing one of those emotions, and he would stop breathing. So she knows what those look like and what to do when he turns blue and stops breathing, and she knows what it means. And so there's not very much that we keep from her. And so she knows what happened when he died, and I'm sure she can kind of picture what it looked like, because she's seen those breath holding spells. So she knows what happened when he died. She knows that I was there, and she has a lot of questions. Why it happened, why God had to take him, and there's a lot of anger associated with it and sadness. So she does go to therapy once a week, and we all go to therapy. But then also when the school year starts, they have a support group for kids her age.
Good.
So she'll be able to other kids who have lost brothers or sisters, so that she knows that she's not alone too, because I think right now that's her biggest struggle, because she only knows of her adults who have lost brothers, sisters, not anyone her age. So that'll be really good for her once she does start that.
I have to just say that I applaud you for this effort. I mean, it really is unprecedented, and it's just, I don't have any words. Like I said, when I first started this, I was like, I don't have any words for you. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem big enough. And the fact that it is still so new, right? So, this just happened, and you are out there talking about it, and you are advocating, and you are trying to help other families. I think that is a testament to you and your husband and your daughter, and the fact that you are having a conversation about it it's very, very admirable. And on behalf of my community and whoever else is watching, I just want to say thank you, because I know it's hard, and I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. You're probably like, bitch, it is so much harder than you possibly could imagine. Because I don't. I only know what I see, and I only know from the people that I know who have gone through something like this. And so I'm not, immune to it. But I don't have that experience. And, I hate that you have it. And I hate that anybody has to have it, because I don't like you say, there's so many questions, like, why does this happen? And if you don't have a strong relationship with yourself and your partner who you're going through, and with your faith, I don't care if you believe in a God or in a universe or in a spiritual being, whatever it is, like there has to be something that's waking you up and keeping you up in the morning, like getting you out of bed.
So I think kind of like well, I know at least for myself anyways, like I know that, although it sucks, there's a reasoning for this to happen to, our family. I think with Mamas of the NICU, it's a good assistant and to help those other families so that they're not in this situation that we're in. And they're able to advocate for their babies and speak up and, know that their voice counts. They're really the best advocate for their child in the NICU. I
think you should write a book. I'm like, you should write
it's
a book,
funny that
and
you
I think I want to publish it.
That is in our plan. Because you're not the first person, actually, that idea. Tristan's doctor put that idea, planted that in our plan, and it's another way that we want to start Tristan. So we're gonna be working on that as well. It is important for you to kind of read Tristan's story, and because once we are ready to share kind of the details of what happened that day and what came from his autopsy, because we did learn, some new things. So I think it'll be important for family babies with really unique stories to kind of be able to pull strength from it and find out what the right way is to advocate for your. Aren't at fault for having it's just we're dealt, and you just kind of have to figure out how to navigate through it.
Right. So Jackie is going to put up all the links. We are at our 30-minute limit. Jackie's going to put up all the links where we can find you, but I want you to know that we are all praying for you, and we are keeping you in our thoughts. And we are, like, everybody who's watching this, go follow Bianca. Follow her story. Follow what happens next. See what's going to happen to this amazing journey, because I know that your words are going to help so many people. And this group that you have cultivated, Mamas of the NICU, there's a Facebook group. Follow her blog at biancadottin.com. And mamasofthenicu.com. She's got a bunch of stuff out there because her story is very important, and it will help so many of you out there. And so many of us, like even people who don't know, recommendations for, what Mamas of the NICU need from people who don't know what you're going through. Like that would be huge. Give me your top 10 list of things that you don't want to hear and things that you do want to hear. Because, it's like people that I've heard this about people with cancer. It's like, they don't want to hear you're going to be okay. They don't want to hear you're going to make it. Like because they don't know. And
That's the first thing that I was told by a family member, when we were, you can get some sleep before the baby comes home. It's the complete opposite.
Right. And I think that's important, because I think, out trying to come from a place of good, and inside people sometimes, listen, emotions are high, tension is running high. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I get it. Feel free to snap and bite somebody's head off if that's what you need to do. But there are a lot of people out there who don't understand that. And so having those conversations, I think, is important. And I think having conversations with your kids is important. And I applaud you for doing that and for keeping her and all the other people in your life updated and in the know and speaking about it, because it truly is. You know, our stories matter. And I talk about that all the time. That's why I do the show, because everybody's story matters. It doesn't matter if it is a sad story or a happy story or a story of struggle or a story of, you know, success. Everybody's story matters. And the end, it's never going to end. It doesn't end, right? You just keep going and you keep pushing through. So I thank you for your story.
Thank you for having me.
So keep us updated, lovely, because I like, you know, when I come to Florida to visit my mom, I want to come to Orlando and just hang out.
Yes. You can go to Disney, the pool, do anything.
Yeah, whatever. Like, just not when it's hot. We usually come down around Christmas time because I don't like to go in the summer. My mom's actually here right now because she's like, it's too hot in Florida. I have to go to Connecticut.
It's been raining here the past few days, so we haven't been able to do anything like fun. So
I know, in the house is no fun either.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, thank you for watching. Watch the replay, share this. This is a really important subject. And we will see you guys back here next Thursday. You stay right where you are. I am going to end this broadcast right now.